So the other week there was a bit of activity in the Discord with multiple people going for five of a kind runs in Puppy Pack for a change. And generally that's not something you see very often because Puppy Pack is pretty hostile in general. You've got Buffalo, you've got Llama, Bison, Puppy, and then Butterfly as well. So a lot of the time you just get completely outscaled by those teams, and it's very difficult to do anything. Now there have been some Pack 2-5s in the last few months, and they're kind of the ones that maybe you would expect. So I think Flame got 5 squirrels, which you've got the very powerful squirrel scaling combined with Seal, I think it was. Ages and ages ago I did T-Rex, although that was off the back of a chicken run, I think, which was probably before it got nerfed to tier 6. I'm not sure, I'd have to check the tapes on that one. But then there's the other obvious candidates like Buffalo and Llama as well. So since there was a bit of interest, I thought I'll jump on this. I'll try it again. I've had plenty of fails in the past and just never uploaded them. A lot of the time because they just don't get to 9 wins. But this one is Bat. Now, Bat got a massive stealth buff in the last update for no apparent reason. Bat is already very good. Applying weakness to the opponent, even just one application of weakness can do massive damage to an opposing team, and if it hits the right pet, of course. But Bat got the is one of the beneficiaries of the change to the way that perks or debuffs are applied to pets that already have them. So for instance, I've already mentioned the fact that 1-Up Turtle works now, so you can, if the pet directly behind Turtle has Melon already, then the Melon will skip onto the pet behind, which I really think was a bad idea, but there's not much we can do about it at the moment. So Bat works in exactly the same way, in that if a pet on the opposing team already has weakness, and there's a Bat on your team still ready to fire, then it is guaranteed not to hit the same pet. So that means you can actually cover the entire opposing team with weakness with a level 2 Bat and a level 3 Bat. Or you could have 2 level 2s and a level 1. But essentially, because we're going for 5 Bats, we're going to have more than enough weakness to cover the entire opposing team. And you'll see that in action pretty soon, I think. Although we only have 1 Bat at the moment because I am using Dromedary for as long as possible. And I think at this point I may be getting to the stage where I think I need to sell Tropical Fish and get a second Bat in. And then we'll start scaling the other one up a bit more. And Turtle is, again, very important in these kind of runs where you need to stay alive as long as possible in order to achieve the scaling on pets like Bat, which have very poor starting stats. So generally the strategy was get a couple of Bats into the team and then look for T-Rex as soon as possible. But also I want to keep the Turtle right until we're near the end, because unfortunately pilling Turtle in Pack 2 is just nowhere near as good as Pack 1, because you're putting the Melon at risk of getting overridden by weakness, and there's plenty of Bats on the go in Arena. Not as many microbes as there used to be, but definitely plenty of Bats. So here the priority is leveling T-Rex as soon as possible, and then I'll start leveling the Bats, and we'll see the effect of covering the entire opposing team with weakness. So this team has no equipment apart from the worm had garlic, I think. So now we'll level up the first bat, or start to level up, but luckily we get another chocolate on the next roll. There is another T-Rex. I can't remember if I go beyond level 2 T-Rex, but a lot of the time I would get to this stage and just never be able to, the bats would just be running into huge units. That's back-to-back worm teams there, so that's kind of lucky. I think because there's a chocolate, do I go for... Oh, I don't go for it. Interesting. So yeah, we're getting to the point where we need to freeze pill for the turtle and try and find another bat. So the turtle will get pilled and then one of the weaker bats will get steak. Again, we avoid a team that, there's no buffalo or llama here. There is one-up eagle, which can be very nasty, but thankfully we get it the right way around, where the tiger is in front of the octo instead of the other way. So now we have to sell T-Rex, which our stats are not great for turn 14 in this pack, because you can quite easily get annihilated by one or two llamas or... okay, yeah, so now I remember. So I decided that the stats are not good enough for me to try and, pivot to the 5 bats now. I also don't have... I need another bat, and there I find it. So I decide to throw by putting the turtle at the back. And that means I get an extra turn of scaling from the T-Rex. And here, actually, incredibly, I managed to miss buffalo again, although there is butterfly, but thankfully we still lose. So now we can pill the turtle. Unfortunately, everything still has 30 health or lower, so we'll get insta-killed by a 50-50. So we'll put steak on the third biggest bat, and there's another steak there. Freeze it up, and so we don't actually have any level 3 bats, but we have more than enough weakness to cover the entire opposing team. And I think, yeah, it's going to be a tie. So we finally do get matched with a buffalo, and it's a tie, which again isn't great because our stats are falling off really hard. And I should just try and level one of the other bats here, just for the stats rather than anything else. And this time we thankfully do get matched with a team with no buffalo, no... This is such a strange run. There's so many teams that... so many roadblock pets that you normally face in this pack, and I only faced one buffalo there in like 6 games. But I guess that's why this one gets uploaded to YouTube. So we've got some bonus footage here. This is similar kind of method, except we're using Skunk, which, in this pack is pretty strong. And one of the problems you do find, though, is not so much at this stage, but in the previous turns, you can see I'm on turn 20 here, because I just kept drawing. The T-Rex is giving the Skunks high attack. The Skunks are reducing the opposing units down to very low health, and then they're all just trading 1 for 1. So this game just went so long. So I give the garlic to the very weak Skunk at the back because there's nothing really left to do. And we face a huge team, but I think, yep, the Skunks pull through. So I've done 5 Skunks in pack 1 before. I just thought I would include that because I never got it in pack 2. Now this is 5 Swans, and I've never managed to achieve that in pack 1. And you'd think it would be much harder in pack 2, but it's not so hard when you get an insane turn like this. So we leveled the fish, and then I got 2 snails, so now I'm going to sell the fish, and that's going to mean I can get a level 2 snail and sell it, and then buy another level 1 snail. So the Swans got +6/6 each on turn 5, which is absolutely ludicrous. It still didn't necessarily guarantee that my team was good enough to win here, but it does scrape the win. But I'll fast forward this one. I just wanted to include that turn because it was so crazy. And it's our old friend, the seal, the 5-of-a-kind enabler. And we've got a 50-50 Swan absorbing a lot of buffs there, which is very annoying. But turn 17, again, still, you you can very easily face a team with much better stats than this on turn 17. And especially nasty if they have like Turtle at the front. Or even Microbe Turtle. I don't know if a Microbe Turtle team could survive this long, but here is our opponent, and we get matched with a Hedgehog team. They're a lonely Hedgehog player in Pack 2. They're so rare, and in the end it's an easy win. So there we go. After months of failing to get anything in Pack 2, I got 3 5-of-a-kinds in pretty rapid succession.